You're listening to The World at 8 with Lynn Mozart. The World at 8, the number one in nationalist news.
Highlights of the news today, Wednesday, the 25th of January. Scottish First Minister Alex Salmond is going to reveal his government's plans on the independence of Scotland from the UK. Government's Back to Work scheme is slammed by National Audit Office. Croatian protesters clashed with police this week over Croatia's referendum on joining the EU. Spanish Judge Baltasar Garzon has gone on trial in Spain for violating a Spanish amnesty law. The Israeli Defence Minister has said that he wants tougher sanctions against Iran. 2 foreign aid workers that were kidnapped in Somalia have been freed by a division of the US Navy SEALs. Thought for the day on the big issue. UK news. Scottish First Minister Alex Salmond is today going to reveal his government's plans on the independence of Scotland from the UK. Consultations on the referendum will take place today at Holyrood. The death of another British soldier has been released by the Ministry of Defence. The soldier died at an army barracks in Afghanistan's Helmand province on Tuesday. The soldier was from the 200 Signal Squadron. The government's Back to Work scheme has been slammed by the NAO, National Audit Office. The NAO report shows the scheme's estimates for the over 25s long-term unemployed are rather optimistic. The report finds only 26% of those targeted by the scheme would find work, and would target mainly those on job seekers' allowance. This report further expressed concerns that the system remained open to fraud and error as the business and charities attempt to remain profitable, and the computer systems to support the scheme will not be available until later this year. European news. Croatian protesters clashed with police this week over Croatia's referendum on joining the EU. Croatian nationals tried to remove the EU flag and were pounced on by police, and 5 protesters were arrested in further clashes. The Croatians are worried that when joining the EU there will be a massive increase in foreigners coming in to buy up their country, much of what has happened in this country. The pro-EU voice in Croatia is firmly based in the government, who will of course benefit from it and have spent a massive amount of money backing the Yes campaign. The Austrian, German and government-owned media have made sure that only the Yes campaign has been aired. It has been reported that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and EU integration had in the 2 preceding months, June and July of 2011, paid for the broadcasting of more than 13,000 radio adverts and more than 2,300 TV adverts on 80 radio stations, 6 national and 15 local TV stations. This massive propaganda campaign has now increased its intensity during the last 6 months. Just days before the referendum, Foreign Minister Vesna Pusic literally threatened Croatia's 1.2 million pensioners that they would lose their pensions if they voted against EU membership. The Vijezda voting station in Zagreb, which covers several retirement homes with about 1,100 pensioners, reported an 80% vote in favour of EU membership. Although the Yes vote went through, the anti-EU lobby have said, how can Europe invest in Croatia when the EU is a broken wheel? Spanish Judge Baltasar Garzon has gone on trial in Spain for violating a Spanish amnesty law. The high-profile Spanish judge broke the law, which has stood for over 30 years, by investigating crimes during the Spanish Civil War during the times of General Franco. Hungary is being threatened by Euro financial bullying sanctions over its new laws and because it wants to keep its central bank independent. The EU accused Hungary of having an oversized public spending deficit. This of course is the way that Brussels works: divide and conquer, or in this case, bankrupt. World news. The Israeli Defence Minister has said that he wants tougher sanctions on Iran. He said that the oil embargo that Europe has imposed this week was not enough. Israeli officials are still pondering with the US over their next move against Iran over developing its nuclear program. Iran wants nuclear fuel for electricity, its government has said. 2 foreign aid workers that were kidnapped in Somalia have been freed by covert action from the United States. A division of US Navy SEALs were parachuted into Somalia and carried out their operation to free the victims. Officials say the rescue of the Western hostages was a great success. Scores of people have been injured in shelling by government forces on a small village near the centre of Syria. This village is a centre for anti-government protesters, and reports say a military assault is underway. 1 person has already died. There is a mass gathering in Tahrir Square in Egypt's capital Cairo by the protesters marking 1 year of the protests against the Egyptian president. The uprising saw President Hosni Mubarak removed as Egyptian president last year and replaced by an unsteady military junta. Chinese security forces have reported to have opened fire and killed 2 Tibetan protesters. The Tibetans, along with many others, were in China's Sichuan province when the incident took place. Others have been said to be injured during the clashes. France has found itself in hot water with Turkey. Tuesday evening's vote concerning the Armenian genocide has enraged the Turks. The French voted yes to make it a criminal offence to deny the genocide of the Armenians by the Turks. It has been estimated that between 1 and 1.5 million Armenians, along with large numbers of Greeks and Assyrians, were systematically slaughtered by Turkish forces during and following World War I. Turkey has earlier recalled its ambassador and now warns of further sanctions against France should President Sarkozy sign the bill into law. Thought for the day. Well, it had to come, didn't it? The changing face of the big issue. It now appears that 1/3, that is 700 people out of 2,250 sellers, is Romanian. The acceptance of this third world country into the EU has as usual fulfilled all the forebodings that we had over the massive influx of their unwanted and reviled Roma people into European countries, ours being the best paid. The big issue was started in 1991 to help our homeless community. It has been alleged by other British BI sellers that some Roma gangs have taken over many pitches to sell these magazines on a large-scale basis, and some of these people even turn up in luxury cars to stake their so-called pitch. One man reported in Sheffield turning up in a Mercedes to monitor several pitches and boasts a house in the city centre. John Bird, who now advises the government on its Big Society project, is quoted as saying, he has tried to get Romanian groups to help with this problem, but the answer he receives is always the same. These people are not Romanians, they are gypsies. And that is the real problem. No one wants to own these Romas, even in their own country, where they were sent packing with indecent haste. A Conservative MP has commented, the big issue was set up to help the homeless, not as a racket to allow people to come over here, play the homeless card and claim benefits as well. This is going to affect the sales of this magazine to the public and will affect the genuine homeless sellers. One genuine seller has been sacked from his job after a Romanian complained he had abused him. Paul Kelly from Salford said he had told the man he was using his pitch. The man complained back to the Big Issue North office and they removed Paul's badge and jacket. He now begs near a car park in that city. And finally, in a spectacular nighttime show over Scotland and northern England, Aurora Borealis can be seen. Rare as it is, the Northern Lights as they are known have usually only been visible in the North Pole, Norway and other northern territories around the earth. People in Northumberland have been staying up late to watch the spectacular light show on this rare occasion. You have been listening to The World at 8. I am Lynn Mozar and I wish you all a very good night.